you, and it just knows. It knows where you're going. And you're so busy doubting yourself. And you're so busy being afraid this world needs you to show up and be exactly who you came here to be, and to trust that that is more than enough.
Take a breath, inner sight. We on a quest for higher heights. I see the summit, yeah, the time is right. Reaching for my dreams, can't give up the fight. I got angels at every angle, and they are able to help me out the web if I'm entangled. Searching for the truth, sending blessings to Oshun. Set intentions with the moon, we in tune.
She brings the light.
She brings the light.
She brings the light. She brings. Have you ever felt like there's some?
Okay. Oh, bit clunky. Alrighty. Welcome to day 2 of Miracle in the Matrix. Can everyone hear me okay? See our screen? Beautiful. Welcome back. And if you're on the replay, welcome back. If you're catching up, if you haven't done day 1 yet and you're here for day 2, don't worry, you'll kind of catch up a little bit in today's call. Susie, do you want to say anything before we kickstart?
Just welcome everyone. Yeah, just so excited to be seeing this.
Oh wait, no, I
Oh,
can.
can everyone hear me? Yeah.
Inner sight.
I'm just so excited to be in this energy with you all. So yeah, welcome back to day 2. Very excited, yeah, for what we have planned for today.
Okay, amazing. All right. So today, before we begin today, you'll need your pen and paper again, same as yesterday. Definitely want to set up your space so you can just like be here in the container undisturbed. So you set your devices to do not disturb, let anyone know that you're going to be busy for a little bit. Again, bring that beginner's mind. This is kind of how we want to move through the world anyway. This is what opens us up to new realities. And start to call through your observations of the last 24 hours where you were working with your miracle key, your chosen miracle key, how it felt to be working with that, how it felt to be holding it in your body. So we're going to start to work with that a little bit more today as well. So just a little recap. Actually, Susie, do you want to recap us?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, so a recap of yesterday, just to drop us back into the energy. So we're really talking here on these 2 days about becoming the miracle worker, the human, the superhuman who walks through this matrix world, through this earthly realm, bringing through frequencies that are higher, dropping them into the planet. And this is what helps produce supernatural occurrences, paradigm shifts our spaces. It's reality defying, magical, extraordinary abilities. These are all the things of the miracle worker that we can experience when we start to drop in and embody this archetype, the miracle worker. So what our question is for you right off the bat, we're going to drop into some reflection. So on day 1, we left you with this little piece of soul work, which was to choose your key, your miracle key. So there were 5 miracle keys. There's truth signature, love, trust, openness, and the multidimensional consciousness. We asked, what was yours that you felt like you wanted to integrate more. We did our energy practice and then asked you to just kind of keep it in your awareness that this is something you're opening to bring in more into your experience of life. So we'd love to know, and if you want to drop this into the chat, what did you observe when you held your awareness around your chosen miracle key for the last 24 hours? So share with us what came through for you. And this can be anything that felt really amazing, and it can also be the stuff that felt maybe uncomfortable as well. Because anytime we're expanding, we're moving out of our comfort zone. So there may have been some discomfort or some, like maybe some thoughts rolling around in your head about what it was to open to this experience over the last 24 hours. So just be really honest about how that felt for you. Yeah, so trust was our really big one that came through yesterday. So many people feeling that trust was what they needed to drop into even more with this, activate that miracle key. Yeah, so the drama happening in the 3D reality, we had that yesterday as well when I talked to you about what was happening with like the kids on the outside, all the noise. And even actually today has just been off the chain for me preparing for this call to be with you guys. I've moved rooms, so you can probably looks the same, but I've actually moved rooms because there's been so much to shuffle me around and to come up against, and trusting that it's all okay, it's all for the highest good, and not letting it throw me off kilter. So feeling your comment here, Laura, about trusting that life is happening for you. And we've got Jo, trust the tingly feels she was feeling. Laura, having trust and love come through. Okay, so just keep dropping in anything that you feel to share. Oh, trusting is very connected to my truth. Yes, so all of these 5 keys, you'll start to feel how much they overlap. And when we start to get into feeling into the energetic signature of things, you'll also feel the very slight differences between the 0.0001% difference in an energy signature, where it's almost like they're almost the same, but they're not. And this is where we're honing our discernment and honing our spidey senses. So there can be overlap, and then being able to feel where the overlap is. And you'll just end up getting more and more attuned to what these different energy signatures are. Okay, keep sharing in the chat. I'm going to move to the next one. So something that we wanted to drop in today is this, where do miracles come in, and how do they kind of work in the scheme of the cosmos and our multidimensional nature? If a miracle is something that seems beyond reality and seems like it can't possibly have occurred, and yet how did it? But we know that everything is possible within the quantum universe. Where's the space? What is it where's that overlap of where it comes into our reality, where a miracle actually occurs? So this is one way you can think of it. We've got our 3rd dimension and 4th dimension. This is our physical world, and is also our thoughts. So lots of thought forms and also some emotions as well. This is what we're referring to as the matrix. This is where most of us exist. This is where we experience reality as we know it. It's kind of like how reality's always been done. There's a status quo, there's a familiarity to how things are done. It's also a space of everything that has already been created. It's not a space of when new things are created until we start to bring in the higher dimensions. So it's also where vibrationally everything sits at a slightly denser level. And although we might not realize it if we haven't started to have, some kind of spiritual awakening yet, some people have no idea that there's more to life in terms of these other spaces we can tap into. What it is to only have your consciousness aware of the 3D and the 4D is it kind of just is existing on dull mode. It's kind of like existing in gray and black and white. And until we start to tap in to 5D and above, we don't necessarily know that there's more sparkle to be had. And this is also because these places are the realms of duality. So it is quite literally where we have light and dark, where we have dual energies, and we experience the polar opposites of things as well. Then we've got 5D and above. So this is where universal love vibration starts to come in, and that starts to unify things. So this is why we start to enter into the space of non-duality, and this is where we're moving to as a collective. This is all about the new earth, the age of Aquarius. It is also where we do exist beyond our mass consciousness programming that sits in 3D and 4D. This is where we start to go beyond that. And it's also where we can start to tap into ideas, downloads, things that don't yet exist in the physical realm, and we pull them in. So it's the space of new creation. So if someone is only sitting in 3D, 4D, they're never going to be able to create something that hasn't existed. But if they're starting to tap into 5D and above, they can pull through something that is brand new in the physical world. And this is where it starts to feel, whoa, like you start to feel the energy of that. It's something different, it's palpable, but it's kind of undescribable. So we're getting to, I'm actually like tingly thinking about it. We start to get into this mysterious space. And then this is where, if you can feel into this and what that is, this is where life starts to get sparkly. And this is where we start to feel like we're no longer just existing, we're living, because we are starting to be aware and conscious of the fullness of who we are. So we feel alive. We literally feel like these parts of ourselves are now being loved, like they're alive, they're being acknowledged, and we're using them. So when you bring these two together, that's where the miracles are. So they have to overlap. So as a mystic, if you embrace the concept of being a mystic, which really is just someone who lives in touch with what goes on beyond what we can fully comprehend with our little human minds, and starts to live more in the space of what we comprehend with our heart and our soul, then you start bringing in these beautiful vibrations. You start to embody it. Those 5 keys come in. And then we start to create really beautiful waves within the matrix. We start to break up the paradigms. We start to have miraculous healing gifts. We have insane levels of like intuition and psychic abilities. So anyone can be a miracle worker. You're all miracle workers, you being here. It's just remembering this. And it's also so simple. It's like far out concepts. We can feel the expansiveness of it, but it comes back to some really, really simple, pure teachings that never change and haven't changed across the expanse of time, really, because we're always coming back to the simplicity of love, universal truth, all of these simple concepts that the mystics have known but have been kept from a lot of humanity in order to, keep them suppressed a little away from their magic, but we're breaking that paradigm. So Susie is going to take us through a little exercise here off the back of that. I'm going to hand over to Susie.
Okay, love. So you'll need your pen and paper here, and we're going to be dropping into around 5 minutes of just like opening up your channel and allowing what's meant to come through onto the page to come through. So would love you to feel into this question and the energy of this question. What would life look and feel like with your abilities as a miracle worker turned on to the max? So if you like really feel into that energy of walking through the world as a miracle worker and having like all of your abilities just turned on, amplified, as you know, Jess shared, seeing the world through that like sparkly, I was going to say filter, but it's not a filter, just seeing the world in that way, what would your life look and feel like? Okay, so Jess is just going to play some music. And what I really encourage you to do here is just close down your eyes for a few moments. You can either, bring your breath into your heart space to start to open through the heart, or maybe you do want to like open up a little bit through your crown chakra, so just above the head, and just really tune in and ask this question to your higher self. And Jess is just going to pull up some music. So what would your life feel like if you turned on your miracle worker and your abilities to the max? We will drop that question into the chat if we can do that, Jess. Okay, I think we're having some tech issues here. Jess, do you want me to share some music? And maybe you just drop the question in the chat. I'll share some music for us to drop in. Frequency of the universe. We'll go for that. But just really allowing yourself to cast yourself into this version of you. What would a life look like if you were to fully embrace that? Your miracle worker, your mystic nature, your abilities that are just maybe lying there dormant, waiting to be activated and turned online. Extrasensory gifts. How would you move through the world? What would life look like? And as you feel into this question, what would you be doing in life? How would you be moving through the world? Would you be in the same role, same career, kind of the same daily routine, or does that look quite different? And I can see quite a few of you who are here with us live are like really in that deep meditative state. So just stay exactly where you are. I'm going to bring through another question. This second question is, what's holding you back from truly embodying your role as a miracle worker? So are there any fears or beliefs or conditioning or worries that crop up for you as you feel into this expansive vision of what life could be like if you really move through the world beyond the matrix conditioning? What beliefs, fears, or contractions come up around that? So I'll pop that in the chat. What's holding you back from truly embodying your role as a miracle worker on this planet? Okay, and if there are any things that have dropped through that you want to be witnessing, you can pop those into the chat. If you'd rather keep that just to yourself and your pages, then of course that's absolutely fine. But if there's anything that you feel is meant to be placed in the chat, so that you can be witnessed and seen in that. And I actually feel like there's at least one of you who is live where there's a fear or belief that's meant to be witnessed, and actually from placing it in the chat it's going to be dissolved and alchemized. So if there's anything you feel this needs to go in the chat, just pop that in the chat so we can witness you and love you in that.
While everyone is writing in the chat, I just thought I'd acknowledge an energy that came through. This will resonate for some of you, maybe not for everyone. But I felt Mother Mary come through, and I was like, girl, why are you here? Like, you're such an unusual energy for this. And she was like, I give birth to miracle workers. I was like, I'm so sorry. You're so right. Of course you're here. So yeah, if anyone's had an experience and resonates with her energy, she came through. So just acknowledging that.
I love that. Well, she is like the embodiment of a walking miracle as well. So, yeah, that's so beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay, so in the chat, thank you so much for sharing. We've got self-doubt that I am a miracle worker is what's holding me back. Yeah, definitely resonate with that one from the past. I know Jess will resonate with that as well. Releasing what's no longer serving me, impacting my frequency. Fear of what people think, which is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't think that's ridiculous at all. I mean, there's a safety thing there around, being a part of the tribe. And when we do start to break away from the matrix and the conditioning and what we've grown up to believe and what those believe around us, there is this like element of actually from a like tribal, very primal point of view, that lack of that fear of being kicked out of the tribe and being unsafe in that. So not ridiculous at all, Joanne. Fear of being seen and perceived as crazy, silly, unable to make good decisions, and that they are correct because I don't trust myself and I'm not really what I think I am. Yeah. Thank you, Laura. And fears of being misunderstood, unsafe, and not capable. Yeah. Just so you know, all of these fears that you've shared are just part of that journey, the path of becoming a miracle worker, becoming a mystic. Like, this is part of the initiation. So just seeing you in all of your shares, and thank you so much for your vulnerability in the chat. Okay. So I'll hand over to Jess just to speak into how we can actually step into and embrace this life as a miracle worker.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you everyone for sharing, because I'm sure that even in the slight nuances of how everyone has chosen to share what came up for them, you can probably resonate with quite a few people in the chat of what they're experiencing as well. So we're all having very collective experiences and we all recognize what it is to be on that journey. So what is it to embrace life as a miracle worker? If you've felt into that vision of what is possible, then we know it exists for you. And the only real thing in the way is yourself, which some of you have put into the chat, like what actually came up from stopping you from embracing this. And really, when it comes down to it, is ourselves. And if we want to pick through that, then we can identify fears and we can identify doubts and we can identify all these things, but we have the ability to move through that. So how do we move through that so we can embrace it? The first place to start is to just make the conscious choice. It is quite literally having a moment to sit with yourself and say, okay, from this moment forward, I know that I might be having this human experience and I might be having all these doubts, but I also know that there is so much of me beyond that that is fully confident and knows exactly how to work with all of this. Essentially, this is your higher self. It's the other parts of your soul that are calling for integration. So it's making the conscious choice and declaring it to yourself, to everything else that wants to hear this, go out into the universe, that you're ready. And it's from that moment then moving through the world like there is no other choice anymore. So that's the first place we start. And some of you, this might be the moment for that. The second step that's going to really help you integrate this and become this miracle worker is to create space for it in your life. Because if there's a gap right now between the vision that you've just seen and felt and where you're at, we need to clear the path so that there is more space for what is in the vision to be held in the now. So this can quite literally mean, creating space in your calendar so you've got more time to just drop in and meditate here and there and just feel your own heartbeat. It can be, the space to actually connect with the friends that fill you with life and make you feel that sparkly self again, because there's a love vibration in the room. So it's actually making the choice and then creating the space to be in the choice, right? And then the third piece that's going to really help is these kind of overlap with the space potentially, is surrounding yourself with other miracle workers and mentors. So people who are on this vibration where you can feel it in them. Maybe they're an expander, they pull you into like your best version of you, and you can feel that every time you're in their energy. Or maybe it is someone who just emanates love so effortlessly. They might not even be a psychic or a healer or a mystic, but they're so in the essence of love that you vibrate different. You become different in their field. That's a miracle worker. We've talked about that, like entry, like people becoming different in a different state of being when you're in their space. And then what's also going to help is allowing yourself to be in spaces where there are people who are embodied in some of this mystic work in a way where they can guide you. So this is an example of that, of coming into a space like this where maybe you feel more expanded being in this energy right now. You've come into Susie's and I's containers before, and you've learnt things, and it's expanded how you connect with yourself and the world around you. So you're already doing it, basically. You're already choosing a lot of this. So you're already on that path, and don't overcomplicate it. It's just about continuing to bring these choices in, and aligned actions in, and aligned souls in to your life. And this is all going to keep you on your highest path. So I'm about to hand over to Susie again. So just leaving you to sit with this. Your highest vision that you've been able to tap into just now, even if you can't see how it actually pans out for you, but it's a feeling. It's just a sense you get in your body. It's a tingle, it's a sensation. Tapping into that. And should you so desire, choosing to embody this even deeper, and choosing to make choices that are in alignment with that state of being. Choosing to move from a space of an aligned yes, an aligned no, becoming your greatest protector and guide as you move through the world, because you can trust yourself and you can lean deeper and deeper and deeper into that trust. And in this moment, if you feel to place your hand on your heart and just anchor anything into your body, into your being now, and that you need to hear from your own soul, we'll just give you a moment or two to do that. And just saying a little thank you to yourself for being here today, for honoring the call into a mysterious space where you really had no idea where it was going to lead, other than towards miracles. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, and I'm going to hand over to Susie.
Okay, love. So yesterday on day one, we alluded to and shared that we would be unveiling a mystery offer today on day two. And that moment is now here. This mystery offer is only going to be shared with you for the time being. We want to keep this energy like super sacred. So you're the first ones to hear about this. So Jess, if you want to just move to the next slide, and I can share a little bit more about this offering with you. So I just feel like I need to take a moment to take a breath, because this program that's being brought through is very close to my heart, because back in 2021, when I was really feeling this call of my higher self to step up, to level up, to move more into my mystic nature and start to share more of my energy and my healing gifts with the world and step more into my mystic nature, this program was birthed into the world by Jess. And I actually was a participant in the first round of this program, and it's called Matrix to Mystic. So, a mystic mentorship for the emerging light worker standing at the threshold of a new chapter. So, I moved through this program myself, and now Jess and I are coming together in collaboration with both of our unique templates, soul blueprints, and gifts to create a mystic mentorship like no other. So this is what is being birthed into the world right now in this second. So we're going to share a little bit more about this program and offering with you now. Okay, so this program is an 11-week program of psychic development, mystic teachings, multi-dimensionality, so moving across the dimensions from the third dimension to the fourth to the fifth to the sixth, seventh, looking at all those different dimensions that exist in this multiverse. Energy play, so we already tapped a little bit into that yesterday, but this is a whole program that's devoted to working with energy, finding the way that you're meant to work with energy, and a lot of play and having those around you to play with and mentors to support you on that journey. Then a very beautiful grounded practice. I'm going to speak a little bit more into that later on. And then mentorship and support from myself and Jess, who have been mentoring, supporting clients through one-to-one and mentorships for the past few years, and running our own mystery school teachings, workshops, programs, etc. So having that really beautiful, intimate support from me and Jess. Okay, so 9 powerful modules to activate your mystic self. I'm going to speak into those modules in a moment to give you that really like masculine, grounded, like what's actually included in this mentorship. And then myself and Jess as your mystic guides to guide you into your mystic's way. And this is what is so beautiful, unique, and powerful about Matrix to Mystic. It's like we're not going to make you a cookie cutter version of me or Jess. We're here to support you to activate your unique gifts. We all come into this lifetime with our own unique soul gifts, our unique soul blueprint. We bring through embodiment from past lives. So really what we're here to do as your guides and mentors is support you to find your way, the way that you are meant to work with energy, the way that you are meant to move through the world, and support the ascension of the earth. So that's like a really important part of this program is really just supporting you to step into your higher self. Okay, so the 9 modules, so the juice, the nitty gritty. I'm going to yeah, speaking to each of the modules just a little bit so you get like a flavor and taste for what's coming. So module 1 is our opening ceremony. We're going to have a beautiful, beautiful group opening ceremony where we have our group introductions. You meet the other mystics that are walking that path with you. Feel like such heart expansion through this opening ceremony. Yeah, building this beautiful relationship within the group so that yeah, you can open up, and because the more open you are in this journey, the more medicine and magic's going to come through. We'll do some intention setting, energy cleansing, like really preparing you for the journey ahead. And then, yeah, looking at vibrational work within that module as well. So really opening the doors to the journey. Intention is everything. So this is going to be a big core part of module 1, is setting your own intentions of what you really want to receive from the container. Then module 2, this is like such an important place to start. The foundations of energy work and being a miracle worker is intuition and truth. So really tuning into what is your truth signature. All of us have, it's unique for all of us, but what's your unique truth signature? And identifying really what that is, because this is so, so important as you start to move into any kind of healing work, any kind of energy work, any kind of energy play. It allows you to become very fine-tuned in your discernment around what is truth and what is not. Because when we start to play with energy, any energies can come through. So tuning into your truth signature, identifying your yes and your no, identifying your body's yes and your no, and also looking into intuition versus fear as well. So that's module 2. Then module 3, this is where it starts to get sparkly and a bit more playful. So looking at energy and soul. So starting with some foundational teachings around the chakra system, and then evolving into, yeah, more expansive teachings of soul activations, energy healing work, and unlocking your soul gifts. So that is module 3. Then into module 4, we start to access realms. Like this is like really when we, it's more like portal work and accessing the different dimensions. So understanding when we're in 3D, 4D, 5D, and ascending past that. So this is where we start to really look at and explore the different energies that we can work with as we move through the world as a miracle worker and a mystic. So tuning into your guides, building a relationship with your guides, communication with your guides, the types of guides that may come through, and the different guides that may operate on different dimensions. And then the multi-dimensional layers, so understanding the 3D and beyond. So what kind of exists in those layers and what you may feel and experience as you transition through these different layers. Okay, so that's module 4. Module 5 is the power of the voice. So the voice is so important in, I mean, literally the way that we move through the world. Just from speaking, we're casting spells through our voice. So the voice is incredibly important in being a miracle worker in the world and being a mystic in the world and being a healer in the world. So within this module, we'll be doing some voice activations, doing some throat chakra healing, looking at different shamanic techniques of using the voice for clearing, using the voice to call in higher frequencies and energies, toning, and light language. So a really power-packed module where we really support you to find your voice signature. And then module 6 is when we go into the shadows. So this is where we explore darker energies, shadow work, wounding, and how to really support yourself and potentially clients, family, friends, as maybe darker energies are coming through in their world or your world. Like, how do you actually transmute that energy? So we'll be exploring healing through love frequency, meeting these moments with light, because yeah, it's not a nice experience when you're experiencing these denser energies, or energies that are not of the light, or are not of unconditional love or pure intention. So really just giving you some tools in your toolbox to be able to manage that, because the more light you become on this planet, the more you attract. So really making you a super strong force field, so that you can deal with any energies that come your way, and really supporting your clients through that as well. So module 7, shamanic soul work. So this module is like pretty simple to explain, literally learning shamanic techniques to support yourself through your own healing and support your clients. So there's some really beautiful techniques that Jess and I both use in our work. So we'll be sharing those techniques with you, and if they resonate, you can take those into your own toolbox to work on yourself and work with clients, family, community, etc. And then we have a bonus experience in kind of like towards the end of this 11-week program. So we'll speak into that in a moment. And then module 8, full embodiment. This is essentially your higher self activation. So just like really calling through your higher self gifts and like anchoring them in your body, anchoring them into the 3D, so that you can go out into the world and do what you're meant to do on this planet right now. And then final module 9 will be our closing ceremony. So reflections, celebrations, and like energetic closure of the container. And then I guess that intention setting as well, of like, what's next for you? Where are you taking the knowledge and the wisdom that you've received inside of this container? Like, what's the next step? Okay, so those are the modules, those are the energies that we're going to be exploring inside of Matrix to Mystic. So the investment. So the investment for this 11-week mentorship is either there's payment plan or pay in full. So 4 monthly payments of 1,888 Australian dollars, or a pay in full of 6,999. So if you pay in full, you do save $533 on the investment. Also, if you pay in full, you get a pay in full bonus. So you get a private opening call with Jess as you open the container, and then you get a closing call with me as we close out the container. That's valued at $1,000. So if you opt for pay in full, then you also get that, as well as the $533 saving. Okay, so you get the 9 in-depth, juicy modules that will activate you into your mystic self, but there's more. Okay, so all of this is going to be online, but something that is so important to Jess and I as mentors, and the experiences that we've had as we've been really learning and developing our own energy gifts, psychic gifts, is having spaces where we can really feel and experience that in the physical 3D. So a bonus of this program that you can choose to opt into, you can just go for the online program if you desire. If you would like to opt into this, we have a bonus in-person immersion in Bali at the most luxurious retreat center, private retreat center, for 5 days in April next year. So from the 25th to the 30th of April. This retreat is valued at 4,999 Australian dollars. You get it as a bonus if you want to come and vibe out in Bali with us, and really anchoring so many of these teachings that you're learning online, meeting all of your soul family, your soul sisters. Yeah, in the chat, it's like, say what? Yeah. And this is limited to 18 spots because, we've hired out the retreat center. That's the capacity that we have. So that's an additional bonus for you. And everything is included in that, from your transfers from the airport to the retreat center, all of your food, accommodation. So literally it's just flights, insurance, and visas that you would need to sort out. Yeah, excuse me. the hell? We're very excited. So the Bali retreat is from the 25th to the 30th of April 2025. Okay, so Jess, if you want to go to the next screen. So what you get, if you pay in full, this is what you get for 6,999 Aussie. You get the Matrix to Mystic program, so the online group program valued at 7,552, 11 weeks of mentorship from two mentors, two Mystic mentors, myself and Jess. Then you also, if you choose to opt into this, you get the bonus in-person luxury retreat experience, and essentially like 5-day energy play and training, group ceremonies. I'm just so excited. So that's valued at 4,999 Aussie, and then you also get the pay in full bonus, so the 2 private mentorship calls with myself and Jess. So the total value is 13,551 Aussie, but you're getting that for 6,999 if you pay in full. But that's not it. Okay, there's more, but this is like the snapshot of where we're at right now. So the online program begins in March. So we already have the dates already locked in. So if you choose to opt into this energy, you know, you can just put the dates in your diary, it's there. Tuesday, the 4th of March at 4 p.m. is our opening ceremony, 4 p.m. Perth time, Bali time. And then we run for the 11 weeks. And then we have that bonus Bali immersion within the program for those 5 nights. So yeah, this is an optional bonus. And if you can't make the in-person experience for whatever reason, you'll receive a replacement bonus, like a VIP bonus. So if you can't make the Bali experience because of life commitments, there is something else for you. Okay, so that's not it. Because you're here within Miracle in the Matrix, we're doing something super, super special for you from now until Christmas. So we're offering a miracle discount of $1,388 if you opt in before Christmas. Okay, so you get the group program, you get the 5-night experience in Bali, you get the 2 private mentorship calls for $5,611. And this is the lowest investment this program will ever be. So if you're feeling the call, that's the lowest investment. So total saving of $7,640 if you opt in before December 24th, and that's the pay in full 5611. So if Jess, if you want to go to the next slide. So something we also just really want to acknowledge is we're in the holiday season, we're in the festive season, like, you know, Christmas is just around the corner. So if the pay in full is just not an option for you, and you just know that you want to be on the payment plan, if you use the code MIRACLE at checkout, you're going to receive $1,388 off the investment. So if you pay in full, it'll be the 5611 is your pay in full investment. But if you want to go on the payment plan, you can use this code MIRACLE at checkout. It's going to give you $1,388 off the first payment of your payment plan, which would mean that your first payment is 500 Aussie dollars to enter into Matrix to Mystic at that lowest price point. And then your next payment would you'd then just opt into that payment plan at the regular monthly payments of 1,888. So yeah, if you opt in before Christmas, you can come in at just a $500 initial payment. So we have an exclusive code, Miracle. You can enter this at checkout to receive the 1,388 off. Jess has just dropped those links in the chat. So pay in full link and the payment link. There is going to be more information coming out about Matrix Mystic. You've got like most of the juice here. We've covered like the nitty-gritty, what you get, dates, etc., etc. We're in the process of building out like a super beautiful, luxurious sales page at the moment, where we've got someone external doing that for us. It's not quite ready. So that will be coming out soon, hopefully. And as soon as we have access to that sales page, we'll share it with you. But hopefully you've received enough, and you'll just like feel that in your body and soul if it's a yes for you. So we'll open up for questions. If anyone has any questions at all about Matrix to Mystic, any questions at all about anything that we've shared today, and Jess, if there's anything that I haven't touched on that you would like to share that I haven't shared, then and the code is miracle. I'll just put it in the chat.
Susie, you've forgotten one extra bonus.
Oh my god, okay, there's one extra bonus. Okay, I'm gonna share the extra bonus.
Do you want
Or do you want me to share it?
Yeah.
Okay, there is one extra bonus. So if you're just like, I just need to be inside of this program, and you sign up while we're on the call right now, actually, I feel like we'll just give like an extra hour. So because I feel like some of you may just need to ask a question or just check a couple of things. If you sign up in the next hour, you also get one of our signature programs called Art of Holding Space. This is a training where you learn how to become just the most incredible space holder in your life, in your business, in ceremonies, holding one-to-one clients. It's a phenomenal training. This is valued at 999 Aussie dollars. And the very unique thing about Art of Holding Space is every single year, Jess and I add new modules to it. So as our space holding evolves and we're holding different spaces and we have new teachings, new codes to bring through, we add new modules every single year to this program. So if you sign up in the next hour, we're going to throw that in as an extra juicy, sexy bonus for you. Just because just before the call, we were like, oh, vibes, that would be fun. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and remember to use the code MIRACLE on whichever payment option you choose, and that will give you the 1388 off your payment. So we've just hit the hour here. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. Let me just check. So everyone here live is losing their shit in the chat, which is so fun. Okay. Yeah, miracle.
So yeah, we will send out the links again in an email after this. One of the questions was, how do you access the links? You can copy and paste them now, so you've got them in your notes app or on your computer or whatever, but you will receive them in an email after this, a follow-up where you will also receive the replay of this. So if you want to, just kind of refresh your memory, see some of those slides again. I saw some of you were taking notes and stuff, but just to fully absorb it, then you will get that. I can't guarantee that you're going to get that email in the next hour, to be honest. So if you want that, if you do want that Art of Holding Space, it's in the neck. You've got an hour to come in, and this is where the $500 payment plan is a really good option, just to still get you in there, and then the rest is sorted out. Yay!
Yeah! Laura's in. Okay, Kath has a question. Can I just be clear about the Aussie dollars? 5611 will be the Bali retreat. Will that include accommodation, online starting March, and the one-to-one at the beginning and the end? Yes. So to be clear, for 5611, pay in full, you get the Bali retreat, everything included, luxury accommodation, all your meals, 3 meals a day, all ceremonies, all training, transfers, like everything. It's just flights, visa, and the visa's like $50. So flights, visa, and insurance is all you need to sort, and just make sure you're available for those dates. And then, yeah, the online starts on the 4th of March, and the one-to-one with Jess is at the beginning of the program. So it's just so that we can really understand what you want to receive, and for Jess to receive any information that wants to come through from your higher self and guides to really support you in like a more intimate way moving through the program. And then I close that out at the end. Yeah, Kath is like, what's the catch? Yeah, I am an accountant after all. Yeah, there's no catch. This just feels like such a it just feels like such a soul offering that's meant to come through from me and Jess right now to really support light workers to really step more into their medicine and magic. It's so needed on the planet as we move into 2025 and beyond. And the more new earth leaders that we're supporting to step into their trust and their truth, yeah, the better. So that feels like a big part of our unique soul missions. Well, unique and collective, me and Jess working together. So there's no catch. That really is the price point. We know when we were fleshing this out, we were like, my gosh.
Yeah, we just wanted to make this, I mean, this is how we love to do things. We want to be so excited about what we're bringing into the world. Like that's the energy that we want to bring in. Many of you know about our turned on strategy. Like unless we're super turned on by it, like we don't want to create it. So this is like truly just what we want to bring into the world and what feels really right. The other thing that's going to be relevant for some of you is that this will be a business expense you can write off. It's essentially a professional development program for those of you who are integrating these, let's say, alternative gifts into the matrix. So even if you're in corporate or whatever, this is actually something that is a professional development program from our point of view. So, and from your invoicer and accountant's point of view.
Oh my God. And I just want to take a moment to celebrate Laura. She's just paid in full. She's the first mystic.
Yay!
So yeah, we'll send you an invoice, babe, just saying professional development on there. So that can all just go through for your tax return. And twice next year, Laura's actually coming on our priestess retreat as well. Okay, amazing. Celebrating you. Okay. Perfect.
Does anyone have any other questions? Just wondering if there's anything else coming through. Today's not the day to ask. That's funny, yeah. Yeah, anyone have anything else that, no question's a silly question because this is such a all-encompassing program. This is like a signature program. So if you have the question, someone else might have it as well. This is also a program where it is what it is in nature, where we are diving into mystery. So it's the experience of what it's like to come into Matrix to Mystic is like you see a door and you're like, what's behind that door? And you open the door and then there's 10 more doors and then you open those and there's 10. And so you're constantly just diving into this mystery realm. So it's an expansion and expansion and expansion. So that sense of mystery is going to be there actually throughout the entire program as it integrates and it lands for you as well. We're like, okay, this is the journey I'm on. It's like you receive even more questions because this is the nature of us exploring these realms. But that said, we can answer questions. Yeah, that feeling of something is on the cusp, that is what that's what Matrix to Mystic is. It's like you can feel it and you don't know what it is, but this is what it is to walk through the world as a mystic, where you drop into recognizing that truth of where you're being called, of what is your yes, and then you trust yourself enough to move with it. So we always know what is aligned for us, what is a yes or a no, as long as we're tuning into that space. So happy it's feeling aligned for you. Okay. Feeling that may be it with questions. It's been an absolute joy to spend these 2 days with you in this miracle space. And even if you've just joined us for these 2 days, please just continue to drop in to that space of miracles and that frequency that you hold and move through the world with it. That's what you've come here to be activated into. That's what you've come here to see others moving as well. So this is a space to just connect you back to that. And if you want to go deeper on the journey together in a space where we're all kind of like feeling like we're weird and feeling like we got fears, and then realizing that we're all in it together and we support one another, and you have our mentorship, then come into Matrix to Mystic. And we're so excited to hold you in the space and see you in Bali.
All right, loves. You'll receive the email as soon as we can get that out to you. And if you have any questions at all, just email us, drop us a DM, and yeah. Thank you so much for being here. You were here live. Thank you for catching up on the replay. Thank you for carving this time out just to be with your soul. Yeah, just thank you. Okay, we will complete there. Loving you all.
Bye.